What's going on, everybody? It's Sasha, your market expert. Today we're going to be talking about the cost of living in Matthews, North Carolina. So if Matthews is a place that you've been considering moving to or currently doing some research on, make sure you watch this entire video. And if you don't know too much about Matthews, I will be linking another video about Matthews at the end of this video. So make sure to check that one out after this one's done. And if you haven't already, do me a favor, make sure you hit that subscribe button right there, the like button. Feel free to leave a comment. And if there's any other questions that I can answer for you, always feel free to call, text, or email me anytime. I'm here to help you guys in any way that I can. So for those of you that don't know, when I first moved to North Carolina, Matthews is the first place I ended up at. Reason being, we all know that the Charlotte metro is ridiculously huge, and it's extremely hard when you don't know the area to narrow it down into basically like a little smaller area where you're gonna feel comfortable. So based on all the research I did about 8 years ago about Charlotte and Matthews, Matthews just felt like a safe bet for me. So when I moved to North Carolina, that's exactly where I ended up. And now I actually live 20 yards away from the Charlotte-Matthews border, which is right there. So my neighborhood is kind of weird because we're basically split half and half in between Matthews and Charlotte. So when I'm walking my dog Luna, we'll take a street down. We'll technically be in Matthews. We'll go back down. We'll be back in Charlotte, and then Matthews again. But I love Matthews personally. I think it's a great place. Families love it down here. People say the schools are absolutely great. So I definitely think you should take Matthews into consideration if you're planning on moving to North Carolina. So first up, let's just talk about the overall cost of living in Matthews versus the national average and North Carolina in general. So Matthews is about 7.5% more expensive than the national average and about 17% more expensive than North Carolina in general. Now, Charlotte is the biggest major city in North Carolina, and Matthews is located right outside of Charlotte. From uptown Charlotte, you're about a 15 to 20 minute drive, depending on where you're located. And you are going to see where this increased cost of living is coming from. Like most other major cities, the cost of living depends really on the housing. So where the housing prices are a lot higher, obviously you're gonna have cost of living be higher because your mortgage payment and rent is gonna be more expensive. So with that being said, let's talk about rent prices first. So according to apartments.com, I went on there, I looked at 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments for rent. The cheapest I could find for a studio or 1 bedroom is about $940. And then 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms are going to be anywhere from $1,000. They can literally go up to $3,000, but most of them are going to be between $1,000 and $1,500 for a 2 bedroom and some 3 bedrooms. 3 bedrooms do get a little bit more pricey, as you would imagine. Now, single family homes. So this is going to be where it's a lot more expensive than other places. So 2 bedroom single family houses, they're not on the market as much. So we're just going to stick with 3 bedroom and 4 bedroom. So 3 bedroom house you can find depending on your location. The cheapest I could find on apartments.com, again, they're not an affiliate. I don't get paid by them or anything. I just like their website. I think it's good for people to go on and not get scammed by some of these other websites that are out there. So the cheapest I could find for a 3 bedroom was around $1,500. But honestly, depending on the house itself and the area, you're going to be looking at about $1,800 to $1,900. That's where I'm seeing most of the houses for rent that are 3 bedrooms. In regards to 4 bedrooms, this is where we have that increase in price. They're ranging anywhere from $2,000 to $2,500. There's a lot of factors that play into that. And obviously, depending on the house itself, you can go a lot more than that. But 3 bedrooms, you're going to be looking $1,800 to $1,900. 4 bedrooms, anywhere from $2,000 to $2,500, and you can definitely go up if you wanted to. Now, if you wanted to buy a 2 bedroom condo or a townhouse, the median price point is about $187,000. For a 3 bedroom, you're looking at about $210,000. Now remember, these prices can and will change in the future, but as of right now, everything I'm talking about is the median price point right now. So now let's move on to single family homes. And the median price point in Matthews in general right now is $345,000. And I'm going to break it down for you for a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, and 5+ bedrooms. So the median price point for a 3-bedroom home right now is about $269,000. A 4-bedroom is about $473,000, and 5+ bedrooms you're looking at $465,000. Now remember, these are not set in stone. Can you find a 4-bedroom for less than $373,000? Absolutely. These are all the median price points, so do not beat me up in the comments and say, Sasha, I found a 4-bedroom house for $310,000. Your information's wrong. No, these are the median price points, so you can always find cheaper and you can always find higher. Now, while we're on the subject of single family homes, let's talk about property taxes. And it's always so interesting to me when I talk to somebody from the West Coast or even up north, New York and New Jersey. I can just tell where they're from without even telling me, because one of their first 2 to 3 questions is about property taxes. And people have coached me up on property taxes in these areas, and it's insane that they go from paying $10,000-15,000+ a year in property taxes, and then they move to North Carolina and they're paying $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a year. It's absolutely mind-boggling for me when I listen to some of their stories and what they have to put up with in these certain states. Leave me a comment down below where you're living currently and what kind of property taxes you're currently paying now. I'm actually really interested to hear that. But so I looked at 15 properties that sold in the last 90 days, and I looked up all their tax records. So since the median price point in Matthews is $345,000, that's exactly the houses that I looked at. I looked at houses ranging from $340,000 to $360,000, and I saw what they paid in taxes. So taxes varied anywhere from $2,000 a year to $3,200 a year. And this is all based on assessed tax value. So whatever the city says the house is worth. There is a formula if you go on mecnc.gov. You take the current value of the home. So if it's $300,000, you divide it by 100, and then you multiply it by 0.6169, and that'll kind of give you what you pay for your taxes. But if you're looking to buy a home, what I always do, I send the tax reports to the lender, the bank that you're working with, and they'll give me the exact number so you can calculate it in your payment. But so now you know, houses $340,000 to $360,000, you're paying about $2,000 to $3,200 a year in taxes, and it's going to vary based on the assessed value of your home. Now let's get into utilities, and let's start off with AC and heat. Now this is also going to vary on a lot of factors. It's going to vary on how much square footage, how much house you have to heat or cool, and it's going to depend on your preference. I think I am very weird because during the winter time, I need the house to be at 70 to 72 degrees. And even in the summertime, I want my house to be cooled at 70 to 72 degrees. And then I have friends and my fiance's family back up north in Ohio. And during the winter time, when it's snowing and it's 10 degrees, they keep their houses at 66 and 68. And I freeze. I freeze all throughout the holidays. So the utility bill is going to depend on your preference and what you feel comfortable. So you have a heat pump, which is your AC unit that cools and heats your house. I live in a townhome just under 1,300 square feet, and my AC unit heats and cools the house. And during the winter time, our bill goes up because we're trying to keep the house warm. My fiance just flipped out, not flipped out, but she was shocked because our bill was $160 something for the month of December, when usually our bill is anywhere from $90 to $110, $120, something like that. And then in the summertime, our bill is a little bit cheaper, around that range that I had just mentioned. But the good news is, spring and fall time, we literally just turn our HVAC off and we'll crack some windows, and the temperature is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now, if you have a furnace, which is on propane, oil, or gas, that might be a little variation of bill, but it's nothing too crazy. On average, like I said, our bills are anywhere from 90 to 120 a month, and it's just going to depend on your preferences. Now, in regards to internet, there's multiple providers you can choose from. We personally use Spectrum. We have 200 megabits a month. I'm not really a tech guy, so I don't even know what that means, but they told me it's good. I pay $75 a month. I work from home and I do a lot of streaming, Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, all that good stuff on our TV. I never seem to run into any problems. There's other providers that are cheaper, but obviously you'll pick a plan that's based on your preference and your usage. So I don't think that's nothing to worry about. But like I said, we pay $75 a month. We're really happy with our service. So that's definitely a route you can take. I would say anywhere from $60 to $100 to account for. I think that'll be good enough. Now, let's talk about transportation. So if you watch some of my other videos, transportation in the Charlotte area in general, I do not believe is up to par with some other major cities. We have the light rail, but unless you're living pretty close to it where you're actually going to use it, you don't have too much transportation. Now, the good news is we do have the Silver Line that's in plan right now that is going to be going up to Matthews, going all the way through Uptown, and then curving left to Gastonia and right to the university area. But the bad news is that's not going to be here for another 10 years or so. It's going to be a lot of construction, a lot of planning, and a lot of money to get all that stuff down. We do have obviously the buses that can take you anywhere you want to go. But if Matthews is a place you're considering, you're going to need a car. You're going to need a car. And most likely, if you're coming down here for a job transfer, your office or your business that you're transferring to is not going to be located in Matthews. We do have office spaces in corporate areas and things of that nature, but most likely, if you're coming to relocate down here, office spaces and things like that will be in the Uptown area, Ballantyne Corporate Park, over towards the university area. Matthews is kind of a smaller city, and they do have offices and things like that, but I'm talking about big offices. You're most likely going to be located somewhere else, so you're going to need a car in order to get to work unless you're working from home. So make sure you take that transportation into consideration. As of right now, in 10 years, we'll revisit this conversation and it'll be a little different, but who knows, we might have flying cars by then. We'll see how it goes. So everything that we've covered so far is going to be the main points, and I feel like is going to be your biggest monthly expenses. I don't really want to go into grocery stores and restaurants and things like that. You're not going to really notice a change in grocery prices. You can go to Whole Foods and pay a lot more, or you can go to Food Lion, Publix, Harris Teeter, which is some of our local grocery stores, and pay less. Restaurants, you got the same thing. You can go somewhere, buy a beer and a burger for $12-15, or you can definitely pay a lot more. So I don't want to get into that. I just wanted to get the main points out of the way. So if Matthews is something you're considering, you have all the information you need and where most of your monthly expenses will go to. Everything else is on you. If you want to drive a nice car, all those payments and all that stuff's on you. I'm just here to help you guys out with the housing, transportation, and the kind of cost of living aspect. So if you like this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, that like button, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye.